Alright, so welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and in this wonderful and exciting tutorial, we're trying to explore a very nice platform called UsefulBase. So UsefulBase is a discovery and analytic platform that allows you to be able to get actionable insight and intelligence from any kind of data, right? So let's see this particular platform. So as you can see from here, we have the test analytics, country insight, we have the apps hub, we have some data insight, and then if I go down, you see some remarks from other people, and then we also see some basic stuff there, right? So let's see the application. So in case you don't have an account, you can just sign in to the app, but since I've already signed in, I'll just go to the Explore. If I come back to the Explore, I have access to different applications, right? So you can actually search for application here. So you can search for something like test, and then it's going to list the test for us, or I can search for something like, let's say, analytics, and then we get it, right? So you can actually search and filter for it. The nice thing about the platform is that there is always a grid view and a table view. So in case you don't want the grid view, you can switch to the table view, and then you can see it like that, right? Perfect. So let's see the first one. So we have the test analytics. So if I go to the info, you can see what the application does. So we have the description, the use case, and the problem this application is solving, and then we can actually visit the application. So let's see it. So this is the application, and this is the basic user interface, right? So what I can do is that I can actually have some tests. So let's say I have some tests here. So let's copy the nativity of Jesus. I'll copy this test here, and then I'll paste it here, right? So if I paste it and I click on analyze, it's going to pick the test and go through some analysis and return some result, right? So perfect. So this is the result it's returning. As you can see from here, we have a very nice plot. So this is a knowledge graph of the entire test that was placed there that contains the entity. So we have person, like in a specific color, all the entities that are the same, all the words or tokens that are in the same entity type have the same color. So like person, so there is Jesus Christ, there's Matthew, Luke, there is Jesus again, there is Joseph, and then all the ones that are in the places like Palestine, Bethlehem. So it's a very nice way you can derive insight from any test, right? Then you can switch this plot from the normal plotly to this.js, right? And then you can zoom in, you can select the one that you want. I can actually select one of them, and if I hover over it, you see the tooltip, right? I can click on any of these things and it select and highlight the rest, which is very cool, right? Very nice. You can also move to the other form of the plot, which is the Jesus, which give us in this particular format. And in this format, I can change it, as you can see, the different colors. Very nice. I can increase or change this one. So if I go to the options, I can switch from these to a different one. So you see that we have the hierarchy one. You can see the hierarchy of the test. I think it's enough for you to see, right? You can see the entire test, which is in the format of a hierarchy. Like as I can see, and this is in a hierarchy. And I can also go back again and then switch from increase the node size in case I want. I can change the theme. I can change it from hierarchy to secular, because this is now in the secular view, which is very cool, right? And how they are connected to one another. And in case you also want to expand it, you can just click on toggle test to expand, and then you have it expanded in case you don't want it to cloud your judgment or cloud your space. If I go to the show test, we have this test, which is very nice, in which we have all the right sentiment highlighted, right, in the right option. That's the all the tests is there. Very cool. Of course, there are a lot of things you can do. So if I switch again, I can switch these ones, right, to increase the number of nodes. So in case I have multiple nodes, so it's that all the test is increasing, right? So I can also reduce this from this to, let's say, just 5. I can just leave it to just 5 of it, and then you just have 5 nodes, right? And then you can see the top 5 nodes. So we have Jesus Christ related to Luke, and then Matthew, and then nativity, right? Very interesting. So it gives you a lot of insight from a simple test. But if I go down, we also have the word visual. So this is a common word cloud that everybody knows, which is also very useful to know what is the most important and commonest word within them. There is a term circular pack, which is similar to the word cloud, but this is in a format of a circle, like berry, like terms berry. So I click on nativity, you get all the words that are related to it highlighted. If I click on sense, all those that are related in a test, right, which is a very nice option. Cool. So I can hide this one, and if I go down, we have the document table, which has the NLP table that has all the different tokens together with their lemma, their part of speech, their tags, their dependencies, and the rest. I can switch to the NER table in which I see all the entities together with their classes, and then I can also do some other stuff, right? So if in case I want to download any of the data, so in case I want to download this, there is a download as CSV here, and if I click on it, I get the data that I had there, right? So I can actually download this data, as you can see from here, which is a very nice way, right, to get the data, so you can analyze and then fetch the data and use it for any other thing. Very cool. Let's go down. If I come down here, we also have, let me hide this, we have the topic quadrant analysis tab, which has the sentiment analysis tab. We have which shows the entire subjectivity of the entire test. We have the sentiment analysis quadrant, which is useful to visualize the distribution of sentiment across a test. So we have how subjective or polar, right, or sentimental a particular test is, right, and then for the entire sentence. And then you also have the same for the NER, in which you explore the entire test, the different frequencies, so based on the frequency and the relevance, right? So high relevance, low frequency, high relevance, high frequency terms. And as you can see, Jesus is in between low relevance, low frequency concerning this test. Perfect. There are a lot of analysis you can do from this place. Now you can also do some advanced NLP analysis. So if I click on here, so we have different ones you can choose from. So I can click on topic modeling, and it's going to do an analysis of the test here, right? You can see the topic modeling for the entire test. If I go to keyword extraction, we get all the top keywords within our test, which is very nice, together with their score. You can also do test summarization, which is going to summarize the entire test and then give us in this particular format. You can also have some name entity frequency, which is a very nice plot, and the top frequencies and their height, their count. There is also the Mendel-Hall curve, which is a histogram of the word length distribution, which is very useful in case you want to do stylometry. You want to know who is the author of a particular test, because we write, our mind controls how we write, and because our mind controls how we write, you can actually identify the pattern of the person behind the pen, right? Then there is a sentiment. There is a lot, right? So you can do part of pitch distribution. You can do an n-gram, which is very cool, right? With the top n-grams, top bigrams, and then the rest, right? These are all insight that you can get out of the box. Then there is also readability analysis that you can also do. Perfect. This is for the test insight. So that is one part of the application, right? So let's move on back again to, you can also, from here, you can move to, in case you have a web search, you can also do a web search. In case you want to put a test, you can put in a web search here and then specify whether you want to search from Wikipedia or from news or from web. This is still in development. You can also do a file upload in case you have a file and you want to upload. You can also upload a file, attach a file there, and to analyze it for you. Perfect. Let's go back again to the platform. Then here we are finished with the test analysis, right? So the test analysis also can, in case you want, you can also get this test analysis on the downloads, which I'll explore with you later. Let's go back to the word insight. So there is also the option to get more insight about what is happening in the world using the world insight, which is like an harmonic of the entire world, and you can see a very nice plot. Let me expand it, make it bigger. So you can see an harmonic of the entire world, right? You can see this wonderful plot with every country and their information, and then you can, once you click on it, you can get some information about the particular item you have selected, right? And then you can search for a country. So I can search for, let's say, Ghana. Right? Once I click on Ghana, you can search for Ghana, and then it's going to highlight it for you. See that Ghana has been highlighted. Yeah, I'm surprised it's given us in this location. This is Vietnam. Okay, that is wrong location. Yeah, but you can click on any of these, and then you get the country info. You can click on this one here, then it redirects you to a different page that's going to pick the country, fetch the data, and give you a very nice knowledge graph. There is also the option in which you can, in case you want to hide this, you can hide the search so that you have a bigger view. And then you can also change these ones, right? I can change it from dark, which is also very nice, right? And then there is open to topography, open street map, and the rest, right, as you wish. Perfect. Then we also have the country info here, which we have the list of all the countries. You can get it in the table view or the card view, and then you can also do some triangulation, which you will explore later, right? So let's see what opened. So once it opened, you pick a country. So I picked Sudan. It can be any country. You get the knowledge graph. That is one nice thing about this application. It's just very filled with knowledge graphs, right? And you can see all the different word tokens that are found within this description about the country. So this is the description about the entire country. And you can see that all these words here is summarized inside this knowledge graph, right? And if I click on any of them, it highlights all the ones that need to be highlighted, right? So Sudan is connected to Africa, Sudan is connected to Britain, and then also there is some possession, functions, Akes, colony, Kush. Yeah, this is from like history and people, so you can get some information about it. You can change the plot in case you want to hierarchical, which is going to be quite bigger than you would have expected. And then you can also increase these ones in case you want, right? So you see that once I made it hierarchical, you can see how the information is, right? So this is the hierarchy of the entire test, and this is showing all the countries and then their years, right? Cool. You can read more on Wikipedia in case you want. I can also switch this plot, right? So we already had the standard plot, but in case I want to switch this plot into a different plot, I can also do that by clicking on switch to plot. And we have the plotly plot, which is so crowded because there's a lot of information. And then I can switch to the iterate, which was the previous one that we had, and I can, as usual, toggle the test, right? Let's move on from here. Then if I come down here, you see the general information about it. If I go back again to here, I can also go to the triangulate. So with the triangulate, we can triangulate, right? So in case you want to triangulate and find all the countries that are located close to another country, you can select the country. So let's say I select a country like, let's say, let's go with Algeria, and I specify the latitude. Now this is going to select all the countries within the 1,000-mile radius, right, of Algeria, right? And then I can also pick popular cities, so I can get all the popular cities here. There is London, there's New York, there is Berlin. If I click on Berlin, some of them you need to log in, right? Because yeah, we have to be sure, right? You're not abusing their platform. Okay, so let's go back again here to the visit, and then we can go to the triangulate, and then you can select a country, right, and then get those information there. So all these countries there, right? And then there is also the information up below, and then you can toggle the table as usual, up and down, right, to hide it. Perfect. That is something that is very cool. Now let's go back again to the platform again. And if I come back to the platform, we have seen the world inside. There's also data analysis. In case you want to do some data analysis, you can upload your data. You can see that I have some data here. You can just go to explore. Then this is going to open the option that you can actually explore this data. You can do whatever plots you want to do. You can add more data. If I go back here, I see the entire data that was there. I can do visualization. I can plot. Let's say I want to plot the population, and then let's say the capital type, something like that. You can do different kind of plots that you want. And let's say I want the country color, or let's say the something, right? So something per the color, right? You can also do the same thing, yeah, right? Very cool. So this is very nice out of the box. Let's go back. I hope it's not too small. Then let's go back to the platform again. So you have seen the data analysis. There is also image analysis. In case you have some image you want to analyze, you can upload an image. And there is also global media insight. So the global media insight is very useful. So in case you want to know what is happening across the world, right, from all the various media channels, you can use the global media. And we have over 100 plus radio stations, TV stations, and a news website. So in case you want to know more, you can just go back here. And if I come back here, I see all the entire world with different markets, right? And I can select in case I want to uncomment all the radio stations. I'm picking just 100 because they are a lot, right? I just picked 100. And then we have the news site, and I can do all of them, right? I can actually also search from here. And in case I click something like, let's say, let's pick something from here, from Poland. See, this is a news station in Poland, and I can visit it, right? This is for a TV station. There is also one, let's say this one is in, let's pick one. Let's just pick the TV channels. So there are some here in Germany, right? So this is in the Netherlands. There is some in Hanover, right? You can actually see the stations that are there, and then you can click on it to see more information, to visit the actual website out of the box, right? Perfect. You can also search it from here, right? So if I come back to the radio stations, you can actually listen. In case you don't want to go, then you can click on this to listen, right? Or you can, let's say, yeah, let's pick a station. So I'm going to pick something like Spirit FM. So we have Spirit FM. Spirit FM is common in different countries. Mostly it's a religious one. So there's one from from Australia, right? And there's one from Spiritus. If I click on this, from Argentina. I don't know whether I can hear. You can actually hear, right? I don't know whether I can hear that. Yeah. So that is something. So you can have all the radio stations out of the box that you can actually listen to, which is very cool. And that's not the only thing. You can also, once you search for it, you have it as the radio station. Let's go back. You can also have any available TV stations. You can actually view it. So in case I go to the visit website, I can click on this to visit the news channel. And then in case there is a news website, I can also do the same thing here, right? The nice thing with this is that with the Explorer, I can click on this news, and I have this option here. I can preview the website in case it's available, and I can also do some NLP analysis. So let's pick another website here that is easy available. So something like this one from Afghanistan. If I click on it, not all of them, right? And those that are allowed, we can see, and then you can click on this. You can click on analyze content, and you're going to get some information about it. Perfect. That is a very useful platform. So with time in the future, the idea is that in the future we want to be able to, let's say I click on, let's say, Nigeria or Ghana or Mauritania, or let's say Yemen, right? Any country, I click on it and I get all the information that is there, right, for the news there. That is the main idea behind what we are trying to do. Okay, let's move on from here to some other stuff we can also do. So we also want to explore more, right? You can also create a playlist, right? As I said, there is a radio station. If I click on the create playlist, I can give a playlist name and then create a new playlist and filter or add different. So I go with Betel, I can search for it, and I can add this particular one to it, right? So I add it, and I can schedule the time I want to listen to this. So let's say I want to listen to it at 7 or at this particular time, right? And then I can schedule them like that, and it's added, right? And I can create a playlist, and then it's going to be added. So let's go to Genesis playlist, create a playlist, and it's going to be added to my playlist here, which is Genesis. I can click on it to see it. I can play it directly, or I can edit. I don't know what I can hear, right? Right, and I can delete it, which is a very useful feature, right? I can actually delete in case I don't want it anymore, and this is scheduled to play at this particular time, right? Perfect. Let's go back again from here to the Global Media Insight. So there is a lot you can do from the Global Media Insight. With time, we'll be adding more features. So let me know your opinion about this. Now let's move on from here to the next feature. Since we are still talking about Global Media, there is FM Globe, there is FM Station Explorer, Radio Map, Newspaper Insight, all of them. If I go to the FM Globe, you can see this is a very nice plot in which you can actually, in a moment, there's no light, so I just had to get some light. Right, I don't want to be scaring you. Okay, so you see from here we have the entire world map, right? And then you can see all the radio stations that are there, and you can click on it, and once you click on it, you can actually play. So this is speaking. So like you can, I don't know whether I can hear it, but it's playing, right? And you can stop it. You can see it here, right? You can actually stop, and then you can also do some other interesting stuff, like you can find radio stations within a particular mile radius. If I click on this, it's going to highlight it. So this is the one that has been highlighted. Any one I choose, the coordinate changes, right? So if I choose something, if I choose a radio station here, the coordinate is changing, and then I can make it like, let's say I want it to be just 10 mile radius, and it increases, right? It increases as you can see from here. So there are so many radio stations here because I just selected this place, but there are some here, as you can see. There are some in Albania, there is some in whatever this place is, right, in different parts of the world, right? So this is a very nice feature that I'm trying to work on, but with time you keep on adding more features to it. And then in case you want, you can just go to the FM radio stations. Let me know if you want it as an API, but for now it's not an API. You can have it as a catalog of all the radio stations in the world. You can search by country, by continent, by cities, right, and the rest. Okay, perfect. So that is it. These are some of the nice features that you have. Let's go back again to, you can also explore the remaining ones. Now I'll go back to some other part of the application that is available. So there's the radio map, there's a newspaper explorer, there's a newspaper insight, there's web analytics in case you want to, you visit a website and you want to scan a website. So I can pick a particular website, like let's say I want to pick Databricks, and if I click on this traverse, it's going to scan this website and return some information there, right? So whilst it's scanning, let's visit some other stuff. I'll go back again here, and then we can explore some other features, right? So we have the web analytics, we have ICD-10, which is very useful for medical field, and then we have the health insight. Let's visit the health insight. If I go to the health insight, we have a health dashboard that is very useful in case you're a medical practitioner or you work in the hospital, right? You work in health. This is very useful because with this you can actually explore different disease. So if I go back to the health search, I can actually search for a particular disease, right? And you can see that there's a lot of information there. That's about 97,000. So that's why it's taking some time, but with time you optimize it. So we can search for a particular disease. So I can say for something like, let's say malaria. Hopefully there is malaria, and it's going to search and give the ICD-10 for it. So Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium falciparum with cerebral complications. That is if it's complication, other complications, Vivax, right? Malaria, the one that causes malaria, and the rest, right? So we also have diseases in which you can see some information. So we have cryoglobulin, malaria itself together with some information. With time you make this one better. And then we have, if there are drugs, you are also going to see it here. If I pick something like, let's say pain is so much, right? So you see that we have pain for ICD-10. There are different pain disorders or pain classification, different diseases that have pain within them, procedures that include pain, and then some antidotes, right? But let's go back again. Then let's go to the causal pathway. There is some interesting stuff you can also do here. We have the decision support tool. So the decision support tool is very useful in case you are working in the hospital and you want to do differential diagnosis. So you can just pick different disease that you know by. So like say like there's something like this, and you get all the related ICD-10. And because you already have all the related ICD-10, you can actually check and then give the right disease diagnosis, right? Which is very useful. If I go to the details, I see the information here. So the generic name, so abdominal aortic aneurysm, together with the symptoms, right? With time you'll be adding more information to it, but all of this depends on how much information we can get available, which is authentic, right? Perfect. And then you can toggle it from here, from the table view to the card view, right? And you can see the card view and you get some information about the disease. So these are the symptoms, which is very nice. And then more symptoms, right? The more symptoms you have, the number here. Perfect. Let's go back here, and then let's see the drug classification. There's also drug classification, so different drugs together with their classification and then their description, what they do, which is, you can also find it here. There is also disease classification, which is also similar. You can also see the different diseases together with their generic names and some details. So if I click on this, it gives us some information about it, which is very cool. And then the next one, we have poison remedies. In case you have somebody takes in, let's say benzodiazepine, there is flumazenil. In case somebody takes botulism or maybe mushroom, there is botulism antitoxin, different quick info, right, to help you. Then there is also the symptom checker, which is a very useful tool, which here I can add some disease. So I can add fever. If the person has fever and you see all the diseases that have fever within them, so that you can actually learn. If If the person has fever, nausea, vomiting, that may be meningitis. Then let's go to vomiting, right? If you have these three, you should be suspecting meningitis, because if you have meningitis, your meninges are affected, you can have your vomiting centers in your head, your cranial stomach are affected, so that's why you have vomiting and you have nausea, right? And then meningitis is itis, inflammation, so fever. And then you can see all the symptoms that have it, right? As you can see, you have different symptoms that produces all of these things. Very cool. With time, you keep on adding and adding more to it. And in case you want, you can just remove them. You can also check possible diseases. Perfect. Then we have the drugs, so different drugs together with their indication. So the name of the drug, the generic name, the classification, and then the indication when you are supposed to use these drugs. And then this one also gives us some information like this. Perfect. Let's go back. So these are some of the cool features we have for this application. So of course there are more. With time you'll be adding many things to it. So the idea is that anything that I find that is useful, I want to add this information here, right? So they remember that there was a passport photo resizer application that we did some time ago is here, right? So any useful tool I find, I build it and I put it here as a showcase, right? Perfect. Let's go back to this one. So apparently we couldn't get this to return any result, but later on we'll work on these ones to get more information about it. So thank you for watching. See you another time. In case you have any question or contribution, you can put it in the comment section below, and then subscribe for more, right? So that you can have access to different other aspects like the notebook, like the radio stations, insight, data insight, and the rest, right? Thank you for watching. See you another time. Stay blessed. Jesus saves.